Hello YouTube, how's everyone doing? It's Professional here. So today I have a crazy current events video for you guys, and this story happened today and it's just outrageous and just ignorant and just stupid. And let me know in the comments down below what you guys would do if you were in this neighbor's situation. But this woman, and the reason I'm titling this video Karen is because she pretty much is a Karen, and if you're unfamiliar with what the title Karen is a meme for basically a person that will complain and cause a scene and always wants their way. So somebody like, for instance, like that crazy customer in retail that is constantly complaining just so they get their way. This woman pretty much fits the definition of that. This woman is so ignorant and just so stupid. So what basically happened here was this woman was going on walks with her husband and her daughter. And when they would go on these walks, they would pass by their neighbor's house, and their neighbor's house had this statue of this frog that I believe was about a foot tall, and this frog statue scared this woman's 6-year-old. And the woman's 6-year-old got so scared she told her mom that she doesn't want to go on walks anymore. So what does the mom do? Instead of going a different route, instead of walking a different road, she instead goes and complains to the neighbor. Now, the neighbor basically told her that he's sympathetic to her, but that him and his wife like the statue. So they are not going to remove the frog statue. But that wasn't good enough for her. Instead, she went to go complain to the homeowners association. The homeowners association agreed with her, forced the neighbors to remove that frog statue, and on top of that, gave the neighbors a huge fine. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what the Homeowners Association is, the Homeowners Association across America here, there are several houses, condos that are part of HOAs. And this is why, if you're ever purchasing any kind of property in the US, I highly recommend it. I don't want to give real estate advice on this channel, but I personally recommend do not buy a property that has an HOA. Because when you buy a property that has an HOA, it is not completely your property. And the HOA can have really stupid hidden rules in there and can dictate to you what you can and cannot do on your own property. Like in this case, putting up a simple frog statue, they're going to give them a fine for that. And on top of that, you also got to pay a fee to the HOA every single month. So just another topic, if you're ever looking for property, try to find a house, in my personal opinion, that does not have an HOA. Don't look for a property that has an HOA because it's not completely yours, technically. So let's read through this article, and I'll also link this article down below. And this woman is just so stupid. Who knew frogs were this controversial? A woman on Reddit has gone viral with a very long-winded story about a neighbor's creepy frog statue and how she allegedly campaigned to remove it from their yard. According to the alleged exchange of events that the woman herself laid out, it all began when the 35-year-old woman and her husband, 34, went on a walk with their 6-year-old daughter. As stated in the Reddit post, the woman wrote that her family had been walking more as a way to stay active amid the coronavirus pandemic and found a really good 2-mile route through their neighborhood. There was just one problem, according to the woman. Recently, one of our neighbors put up a frog statue for display outside their house, she writes. I find it really creepy, and so does my husband. My daughter hates it. She is absolutely terrified of it. Now she refuses to go on walks. Meanwhile, the woman did not explain whether there was a way to take a different route to avoid the frog statue, which she later described as being about a foot tall. See? She does not want to answer that question, whether there was a different route that she could take. She didn't want to take a different route. You know why she didn't want to take a different route? Because she wanted to use her authority here and basically say, it's my way. If you don't like it, this is the way it's got to be. This is my way, and I'm going to get my way. That is basically this woman's attitude. How stupid is that a neighbor has something on their property, and you are going to complain to the neighbor to remove it? The only time, I think it will be justified to complain to your neighbor if they have something on their property, if it's intruding on your property, if it's something that's causing a nuisance on your property at that point, like devaluing your home, or for instance, that's a legitimate thing to complain to your neighbor about. But having a frog statue that's like a foot tall and telling them to remove it because it is offending your 6-year-old daughter, that is just stupid. And look, I'm not trying to criticize the child here. The child is 6 years old in this case. And the statue might be freaking out the child. But what the woman should have done is she should have just taken a different route or explained to her daughter, the statue's not real, can't hurt you, do things like that. When I was a little kid and, I was walking around, there were some houses that creeped me out as a kid, but I didn't complain to my parents and tell them to go up to that house and just start a scene. That's just dumb. In a bid to appease her daughter and seemingly her own aesthetic sensibilities. The woman said she contacted the owners of the frog and asked them to move the statue so it's no longer on display. I knocked on the door, and a middle-aged man, maybe 55, opened the door. I told him the situation. He seemed sympathetic, but he said that he and his wife really liked the display, so they won't be taking down the statue, she wrote. This is a picture of the statue. Now, I don't personally understand how this could freak somebody out. You know, my mother, she has similar frogs in the backyard also. You know, I'm not bothered by them. You know, it's just a decoration piece. You know, it's in front yards, it's in backyards and gardens. I don't understand, you know, the big deal. You know, there's more important things to worry about in life instead of your neighbor's frog statues. But instead of accepting that her neighbor has a frog they enjoy, the woman allegedly went to the homeowners association. After that, I talked to my next door neighbor. He is the vice president of the HOA, so I was wondering if he could force them to take the statue down, she wrote. He said the statue might be a violation of the HOA bylaws. He went to look at it, and sure enough it is. Now they're being forced to take down the statue and are being fined for violating the bylaws, she claimed. How stupid is that? Really? It's just so stupid that, you know, the homeowners association is gonna come to your house and tell you, you got this frog statue up, you gotta take it down, and here's a big fine, by the way. How dumb is that? So like I said, guys, if you're ever looking to purchase a property, never ever purchase a property that has an HOA, because there are ridiculous rules like this. The woman added that her own husband feels she took it too far, although she doesn't seem to agree. Yeah, your husband is right, you did definitely take it too far. The statue is destroying the aesthetics of the neighborhood and is scaring the children, she added, despite before saying it was only her own child who was scared. She ended her post by asking if her actions were justified. No, your actions were not justified, and this woman made a fool of herself by posting this online, because now this went viral, and now she just looks really stupid. And where is her evidence that there's more kids that are afraid of this? Okay, I understand if your child is afraid of this, but where is the evidence for your claim that this statue is supposedly terrorizing children? Literally walk down a different street if you hate it that much. Or alternatively, take the opportunity to talk with your kid about how different people find different things beautiful, and that's a cool thing about humanity, one person wrote. Completely correct, they're 100% right. After failing that, OP could have walked another route. What a ridiculous overreaction, others said. As far as your daughter being afraid of it, kids have irrational fears. My niece was terrified of butterflies. Teach your children things in life will sometimes be unpleasant, and teach them how to cope and deal, someone else suggested. Later, the woman updated her post to include an alleged photo of the offending lawn ornament, but did not provide any further updates or if she agreed with the unanimous verdict of her post. It was also not verified if the poster was truly outraged about the frog or just a very successful internet troll. But, you know, this is just so stupid. And you cannot, when you look at stuff like this, you think to yourself, you know, what kind of mindset do people like this have? I mean, really? Really? That you're gonna create a whole scene, report it to the homeowners association for just simply having a 1-foot frog statue. I don't like that 1-foot frog statue that my neighbor has. I'm gonna complain to the homeowners association, and my neighbor is gonna have to remove that and get a huge fine. I mean, do you not have anything better to do? Mind your own business. What people do on their own property, if it's not hurting you, what people on their own property do is their own business. And if you don't like it, walk down a different street. It's as simple as that. I don't understand how people have this mindset. And when I was a kid growing up in New York City, my parents had to deal with nosy neighbors like this. It was just annoying. They would call various city inspectors on us. One of my friends in real life, he has had several inspectors come to his house to supposedly check out his driveway because for some reason his neighbors kept calling up and they kept saying that his driveway is not up to city standards when there was nothing wrong with his driveway, and the inspector would come in and would say, you know, there's nothing wrong here, I don't see the problem, but the neighbor would keep complaining and it just got annoying. So, you know, these people need to learn how to mind their own business. Mind your own business. If your neighbor has something on their property and it's not directly affecting you, it's none of your business. I don't know why these people feel the need to impose their will on other people, because that's exactly what she's doing here. It's my way or the highway. That's the way that this woman is. She has to get her way no matter what. And instead of teaching her child that it's just a frog, it's an inanimate object, it can't hurt you, it's not real, instead of teaching her child that there's nothing to be afraid of, she goes and complains to the homeowners association. What kind of, I don't want to get into parenting here, but what kind of example is she setting for her child as well? What kind of example? That if you don't like something, you can just keep complaining until you get your way. That's the example that she's basically setting for her child. So let me know what you guys think of this ridiculous story. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like. And if you're new to my channel and enjoy my content, subscribe. Let me know what you would do if you were in this neighbor situation. If you had to deal with this fine, you had to deal with this crazy neighbor, what would you do in this situation? Let me know down below, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everyone.